Welcome to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. Today I wanted to talk about my own journey and how I became a pranic healer and a life coach. So I have always been very spiritually oriented. I have been born and brought up in a family where my grandfather and my parents all were very religious and spiritually inclined, and so that was a norm in my family. My aunt introduced me to Meher Baba, the picture you can see behind, when I was very little, maybe 4 years old or 5 years old. And I remember when she gave me the name of Meher Baba, I was fascinated, just connected to my soul in such a way that I felt like celebrating this love. And all I did all through growing up is I constantly celebrated Meher Baba's birthday. It was my expression. And in the way that I celebrated, I went down. I would ask my aunt or my mom or dad for money. I would go downstairs. I would buy small little things as return gifts for the building friends and for friends from other close by buildings, and then I would invite all of them, tell them it's Meher Baba's birthday, call them home and celebrate Meher Baba's birthday. So we would sing, we would do an aarti, I would have some prasad, and at the end of it I would give them these return presents. Each one who came, I would have figured out how to give each one a present, and I would just give them these, a hanky, a trinket, a set of clips, anything, very tiny small little things that I would give them. And that was my celebration. It would come maybe once every month or twice every month as I felt the celebration in my being. And that was my first memory of my connection to a higher power. And as the years went on and I grew in my love and in my just feeling settled with Meher Baba, I remember my relationship being that of a very caring father with Meher Baba. He would listen and I would go to the ashram and I would just be in a space where I know that everything that I want, everything that I'm seeking and asking not only for physical and spiritual stuff, but metaphysical stuff, and it would just show up and it would just kind of appear in my surrounding. So if I wanted a dream, if I wanted some indication or proof of Meher Baba in a dream or in a connection, I would actually throw these challenges and say, if you love me, you will do this for me and you will show me, not physical or spiritual, but stuff, synchronicities, that I will read a line on a taxi that says something. And believe me, the exact same line would show up somewhere, somehow for me. So every little, it was not like I was telling God that, look, I love you and this is my prayer. And I was loving him in my own way, where I was telling him, you love me, first you show me. And every little instance I remember of my childhood, he would show me. And now cut to when I was born. I was 7 months premature, and it was a very dangerous birth, where my mom also was in danger of her life, losing her life, and I was immediately yanked out and from where I was born and taken to another hospital where they put me in an incubator. And on the way I almost turned blue and died, but the nurse who was carrying me removed whatever it was from my nose and my throat and gave back life to me till I reached that hospital. And when I reached that hospital, that was at those times the only incubator in Mumbai, and they put me in that facility. And for 2 months I was in that incubator. Every evening my father would come to see me first, and he would come very tentatively and afraid. Is she going to be alive? What are they going to say? This is all pre-mobile and pre all this hyper communication days. So my dad would wonder, am I going to see her? Is it going to be bad? And then what? And then my mom, meanwhile, at the other hospital in the evening, she's waiting for my dad, and my dad would come in and she would wonder, is it going to be bad news? Is she going to make it? What is it? And my dad would wonder, is my mom going to make it? So it was a very, very, very stressful time, and I can connect the dots of my life. I feel that my spiritual energy, my agents, my angels, my Meher Baba was always there for me. Even before I knew Meher Baba or knew what this spiritual energy is, or what prana is, or what spiritual connection is. That's how in that incubator I was able to survive, and that's how I was able to connect to my purpose now, because that life was valuable. That life meant so much spiritual joy, so much contentment, so much confusion also. So, giving you this background, now let me come back to when I lost my mom. Fell and broke a bone, and I had to rush her to the hospital. And the day she was in the hospital, she got a surgery done, and the day that she was to be discharged. I am an early riser, but I don't wake up at 4 each and every morning. And I kind of got up as though I was being woken up, and I had no clue what's happening. And I was bright, absolutely as though I have been up, full of energy, full of a spring in my step, and my brain was alert. And I decided that now that I'm awake, I'm going to do my morning meditation, do my morning writing work, and everything that I had been doing all my life, I have been doing my reading. So the connection of doing meditation or reading or lighting a diya in front of my God, these are all things that I have been doing, but I never had a connection that this is what pranic healing or pranic energy is. And it was just my own faith, my own expression of my love and my spirituality. So that moment, that morning, I woke up and I said, doesn't matter, it's since I'm awake and it's so early, I'm going to sit and I'm going to do my morning meditation and my writing and drink my tea. I love my morning time. So that is that's another self connection time of mine, when I just sit, everyone's asleep, and I drink my tea. So I actually look forward to mornings. So when I was literally awakened, I thought it's fine. It's earlier than normal, but let me just wake up. Anyway, my mom is in hospital today. She's going to get discharged. So I'm going to go. So I was excited about that too. I sat down and I'm reading or writing, and my cat comes and sticks to me. She just comes and sticks and sits on the sofa with me. And I look at her and I go, her name's Yoda. And I go, Yoda, why are you sticking to me? What's happening? But I don't mind, I'm not complaining, I love it. And then I remember writing a few sentences that morning and just looking out of my balcony and feeling the sense of exhilaration and looking out and saying, wow, it's a beautiful morning. It's so it's so nice outside, and I feel so good, and I feel so humbled. I feel so much gratitude. Thank you for everything. So it was like an outpouring. And I am now talking to Yoda and I'm telling her, look at me. So I'm stepping out of me and observing me and saying, Yoda, look at me. Look at how much exhilaration is in me today. And I'm asking myself, what's up with you? Why are you so, like, you know, peppy and energetic and optimistic about life? And I'm kind of even chuckling at my own self, and I go, but why look a gift horse in the mouth? So enjoy it and be happy. And that was the end of that. Okay. And very soon at about maybe 5 o'clock, and normally my phone is off, I don't put my phone on till quite some time. But that morning I put my phone on, and as I put my phone on, I got a call from my bhabhi, and she told me that something's happened and everybody surrounded mom on the bed, and after some time she said she's no more. And it was a shock. And after that, needless to say that it was a shock for a very long time. I grieved, I mourned, I flailed, I crumbled, I just did not know where I belonged anymore. I lost my orientation, I lost my grounding, I lost my footing, because all I knew was an anchor that was anchored to my mom. And when she passed away, and my dad had passed away 16 years earlier, and that too was a similar experience, but I had my mom to hold us, me and my brother. But when my mom died, and I have earlier felt that when she will go, I will be able to handle it because I've already handled the passing of one parent. But I had no clue. And sometimes when my mom and I would speak, she would tell me, you are really strong and I know you will be able to handle it. You have to look after my brother. And I would say, of course, and yeah, I will. And I would feel that strength. But when it actually happened, I was shattered. It was not a physical shattering. It was not like not waking up and being on the bed and sleeping for so many hours. It was just broken internally. It was shattering inside of me, where I just felt like I did not belong to this world, to this life. The air seemed different, the environment seemed different, people, my own children and husband seemed different, and I felt like I was not in that, I was not present at all. It was like I had lost my own life and my own, I don't know how to put it. I had lost my own self. Like I didn't feel, I was numbed by then. But I did everything, and I remember the next morning, so she died on the 16th of May, 17th of May morning, I get up early and I'm making tea, and I open the kitchen window slightly, and I have this completely spiritual experience where a cyclonic wind that comes in, and it just keeps coming in, and I'm just, my hair, everything's being blown away, and I'm just standing there with my eyes open. There's a tree behind the kitchen window at a distance, which is not, the leaves of which are not moving, and I'm thinking, why is that not moving, and why am I feeling this cyclonic winds? And I just stood there, and I go, after a few minutes of that, I go, oh mom, is this you? And I'm speaking with her and I'm asking her, is this you? And I say, oh, is this her? Is she here? Is this what she means? Is she telling me she's here? And I'm just there, and the winds continue, and that that whole experience continues, and I say, okay, this is my mother blessing me, and I just keep quiet and I say, thank you, mom, thank you for blessing me, thank you for coming and showing me that you can feel my pain, you can sense that there is nothing. It's like a shallow container. Me, I have become a shallow container of life, and I just felt that literal gust all through. For a very long time I stood there. I don't know how long it was, and as it went, I remember feeling back into my body again. I remember feeling like she blessed me. I remember feeling that, wow, is this what it means that they never die, that your soul never dies, and that when your loved ones pass away, they're always with you, they can hear you, sense you. I had never had that experience, but it was the first time that was my experience. And that was it. I made my tea and I went about my life, and one day turned into another, and I forgot about that experience. And like I normally do, I would wake up, and yes, I was still grieving and still mourning and still shattered. It wasn't like suddenly, magically, miraculously my grief and my brokenness had got ironed out. I was still broken. I was still working on myself, and still had that lump in my throat of grief and of missing my mother. A few months later, my best friend from school, she happened to visit. She doesn't live in Bombay. She happened to visit, and she came to see me and pay her condolences. And she had done an entire level after level after level after level of pranic healing courses, learned extensive techniques. She said, let me just do your healing. You get me a bowl and put water, put some salt, and come and sit down. And I'm a science graduate. I'm a science person. I believe in science. And I looked at her and I said, what are you talking about? What is this mumbo jumbo? And she said, just chill, just, go through the motions and let me do because I can sense it, I can see what's happening to you, and I can't leave without me doing your healing. And I thought to myself, what can be worse? I've been through the worst experience where I've lost my mom. I'm broken, I'm going through everything. What can be worse than that? And forget my logic and my thinking and my science degrees and my all my education and everything and my skepticism. Fair enough. Let her go through this, and what do I have to do? I just have to sit and let her do her thing. And that's what I did. I sat. She did a very, very long and intense healing on me. She removed and dissolved and dissipated whatever was there stuck, my grief. It just kind of felt lighter. The environment and the air felt lighter, and I thanked her, and we went about our business. And I slept that night very well, and the next morning I woke up and I took my laptop and I started typing. And I typed and I typed and I typed, and it was as though there was a lump that had been stuck in my throat that got removed. And I just typed and typed and typed and typed, and it was like years and years and years and years of my own spiritual work that I had been doing, my own writings, my own readings, my own meditations that I had done since I was a child was just pouring out. And that was what I felt was completely atypical, completely different, completely not what I was used to. That Yes, I sit in the morning. Yes, I do meditation. Yes, I do connect. But the magnitude of that connection just blew my mind. It was just so much power. It was so unmistakable that there was no way that I could not take note that what was that block, that when it got removed and that outpouring that manifested was just brilliant, was something that then connected me to that energy. What had happened in that kitchen the morning after my mom had passed, it connected me to my mom's presence so many different times after that. Till then, I was not sensing my mom's presence. But the minute that block got removed, the minute she worked the life force energy into healing me and dissolving that grief and that emotions and that sadness, and along with that all the other background noise which was also always there. As a human that walks this earth, there is always a noise and a background of heavy emotions which we all carry, which I also carried. So that outpouring was like a healing for all that background heavy emotions which I had been carrying also. And it was so beautiful. It was an experience where I think my way of experiencing God, experiencing the universe, prana, a higher being, and life force energy is through writing, is through connecting, is through what I'm doing right now. Outpouring of my connection, of the way I sense spiritual force and energy, and I sense it in my writing, I sense it in my expression, I sense it in joining the dots of life. And that outpouring kept happening for months on end. And after so many months, I realized that what is coming out on paper through me is a book. And I wrote my book, Life Manual, and it's available. But that is the expression of healing, and that is when I was able to connect all the dots. And so my journey was, in retrospect, kind of like iron filings all coming together and making it now make sense. So yes, all through my childhood, the mystique and the connection and the awareness of love and of support of a higher power always existed, but it all came together and it all made sense after that healing, and after I could connect to the presence of my mom, the presence of other healing angels, the presence of life force energy, the presence of a spiritual power that is stronger, that is more powerful, that is more universal than anything that you have experienced. It works on emotions, it works on physical, it works on all levels of pain and trauma and stored wounds which we have carried as children. So I immediately took charge. The minute my brain understood what has happened, I connected with my friend Sarita again, and I asked her for all the spiritual courses that help me learn pranic healing. And it was Master Choa Sui's pranic healing courses, and I took one after another courses that connected me, that gave me techniques, that actually helped me get those iron filings that were all over the place. It was like a magnet that arranged and organized and leveraged and utilized that connection and that spiritual awareness and energy that was already in me. And then that force of wanting to connect out there, wanting to connect with you, wanting to heal others became so strong that so far I had only worked with this spiritual force and energy with my closest friends, with my relatives, with friends and family at home, and I had worked with it in my own capacity, and that was my way of kind of taking away the stress or the ailment and putting in that fresh energy back and connecting with a higher universal cosmic energy. But when I did the course, after I learned the techniques, it was all meant to be. And the force of that call in my being, in my soul, was so strong that I just could not ignore it anymore. I just could not say that I cannot connect with you and I cannot connect with those that are suffering, because that is what was pushing me. And for so many months, I kind of stopped myself and said, but no, I have an MBA, I have a science degree. How can I be the one touting pranic healing? And that's why I made these air quotes in my intro. Why will I do pranic healing? But it was unmistakable. What had happened to me was this complete call to action from the universe saying that you cannot ignore it. You want to ignore it now? Fair enough. It will come back to you in a few months, and then in a few months, and then in a few months, till you take heed, till you listen to your own intuition, till you connect to what that message is for you. And I took my time to connect with that message because I myself was not sure what's going on. But when I connected with that message, I just silenced that background noise, the disconnection, the heavy emotions, the confusion, the brokenness, everything silenced, and everything got lifted completely as though by a higher force. And today, if you ask me, it is this energy, it is this spiritual connection that made me feel I am the tool, I am the instrument that has to reach out and has to talk to you and has to share this story, which is so personal to me. And in sharing this story, I want to encourage you to look up Master Choa Kok Sui's energy healing courses. Pranic healing is for everyone. It's a very intelligent energy. It connects with you, it connects with me, and like I said, it irons out the iron filings and organizes them, and it will do it for you as well. So after I felt that connection, I started working on actually reaching out to people who I don't know, strangers, and then the rest is history. Of not listening when you want to play small, when you don't want to listen to what your calling is, and you don't believe that that is your calling, and you don't believe that that is what you're meant to do, because you have never done it. And when I would talk to clients, it was like my entire being was filled with information of what is wrong, what is this suffering, what is their struggle, and what I need to do to extricate them out of that struggle and connect them to the same trust and confidence and faith and energy that propelled me, because it is what propels each one of you. So not listening to that calling, not heeding the call on my life would have taken me more lifetimes to come to this point. And I feel grateful that I heeded that call and calling, and that I am here and I am doing what I love, what I feel passionate and inspired to do. And what I feel is, for so many people, the difference between the repetitive behavior of emotions that takes away your spirit, takes away your enthusiasm and zest for life, when you remove whatever has been stuck by prana, which knows what to do for you, and then you complement that with exercises, assignments, tools, techniques, protocols of life coaching and therapy and counseling, that is when magic happens. And literally it happens. You may not even want to believe it, and it doesn't matter whether you want to believe it or not. That call will keep calling on you like it did me. Maybe this is not your lifetime to connect to your calling, maybe it is, but it's your timeline, and we cannot hasten or shorten or expand that timeline. So when the calling becomes so strong within you, you will listen, and you will be compelled to listen, because that intelligent energy knows that it has your attention, it knows that your being is ready, and it knows that now the action and the brave forward steps that you will take will be the difference between you staying put in that same repetitive behavior or catapulting you out and leveraging that pain that you feel into another stratosphere of creation, of expression, of being, which is what is calling on you. So I would say, heed that call, listen to that whisper, listen to that dissonance and that friction and that discomfort that comes within. It is there for a reason. So connect to it, don't dismiss it, don't suppress it, don't hide it, connect to it. It has a message for you, specifically for you, and to pull out that root of what that message is for you is so important, that you do it the right way, that you allow a healer to connect you to that essence of you that is caused you to sit here and listen to my entire video. So I'm going to stop here. I want to end this video here. I thank you all for coming and for listening to my story, listening to my journey, and if you feel that it is a journey that resonates with you, then I would encourage you to subscribe. I would encourage you to hit the like button and share this video so that others can be compelled to connect with their own life force energy. And I will encourage you to write down what thoughts, what intuition, what whispers came to you after you heard and saw this video. So comment in the comments below what were the connections that you made on your call for your life, and for you to realize it in this lifetime and not push it for other lifetimes that you have. So connect right now in this life. Thank you so much for listening.